In this video, I'm redoing my patrol disciplines video, so if you didn't see the old one, tough, this one's better, I think. So, I came up with an acronym that people could probably remember, and it basically stands for, if you want to remember a lot better, New, Fat, Lazy, Command Sergeant Major. Pretty easy to remember because nobody likes their higher-ups, right? At least in the Marine Corps. With that said, each one of these has a specific purpose for before and after, or before and during a patrol. So, first one is noise. So, before a patrol, you want to make sure that everything's tied down. We're not, leaving, sling swivels on our rifles clinking around. We're not having magazines banging around in our pouches to where they're scraping up against each other making noise, or bouncing up against each other making noise. So you use some electrical tape around the base of the magazines. And also make sure that things inside our pack are nice and cushioned, that we're using material that isn't rubbing and making an artificial sound. Stuff like that. So, during the patrol, you want to make sure that you're not, smacking gum in your mouth, you're not coughing, you're not flicking off lighters, you're not, doing anything that's going to make noise. The idea is that you're like a ghost. You're going through completely silent. So even the wind is, sounding like a banshee on a light breeze. The idea is that you are as silent as possible. So, next one is energy. Before patrol, you need to make sure that you get plenty of rest and plenty of food, because during a patrol, you might not get the time to do it, whether you make contact or all of a sudden you get a frago where you actually need to change your mission or do something else, and you need to get there and do it fast. And then maintain a tempo where you don't get to eat for, maybe 2 days at a time. It happens. So, you need to, stock up on energy and stuff like that. But, on patrol, you need to maintain your energy as well, because, one of the fundamentals of patrolling is maintain 360-degree security. And if you're getting tired and fatigued, your brain's going to have a hard time concentrating. So you need proper brakes, and that means proper, so setting up a perimeter, maintaining security on your brakes and stuff like that. So 50-50 or whatever. But anyways, the point is that monitor your energy levels, be responsible about it, because you never know when you're going to need a lot of energy on, like right now. And it's not good if you start out dead tired, if you can help it. Mission dictates and, other factors, obviously. Next one is water discipline. I know a lot of people love drinking a lot of water and stuff like that, but honestly, it's actually not all that great. You don't need to be drinking all too much water to stay hydrated, and if you do, that means that you haven't trained your body to get acclimated to not having the privilege and the luxury of drinking water all the time. I know a lot of people are like, well, I have a Camelback. Well, what about when you run out of water and you're still being pursued by the enemy and you got to keep moving? You can't just dunk your Camelback in the water and keep going. So, yeah. So, you might want to practice going a good amount of time without water. The next discipline that you want to work on is food discipline. So, food discipline is, one of those things where you need to pack food accordingly. So before the patrol, you need to make sure that you're packing food ready to go. Not saying put them in different pockets and stuff. I'm not really into that anymore, but because I'll just fast if I'm out. But I just won't eat while I'm out, like for the whole day or whatever, and depending on how long it is. But anyways, you need to prep the food. Like if it's an MRE, strip it down and separate it out between the quick stuff. Like the crumbly stuff needs to be in a plastic bag that you can eat over and stuff like that. Prepping it that way. And then when you're on patrol, when you're eating it, and during a rest halt or whatever, a security halt where you're able to rest, go 50-50, then you can eat from inside the bag. So you're not betraying, the other discipline that you need to maintain. So anyways, food discipline, very important. You need to make sure that you're not getting too much food to where you're adding on too much weight and making yourself tired from eating so much, but you're getting enough to keep yourself able to heal from exhaustion and stuff like that. Get your energy back up and replenish the fat cells in your body. So Next one is light discipline. Obviously at night, if you're operating at night, we want to be able to see the map when we're working, but we need to make sure that we're covering ourselves thoroughly and we're not using too powerful of light if we're doing, map work with a little light. We need to make sure the lens is proper and stuff like that. So also, we're not having NDs on weapon-mounted lights and stuff like that. If that's really going to be a problem, then disconnect your tape switch or unscrew it enough or whatever. So also lights on an NVG shining off of your eyes can be visible. So there's a lot of different little things to take into account as far as light discipline. I mean, cooking at a distance can be seen. I mean, people can see the reflection of that light in the trees and even off the smoke that it's emanating, if there is any. So the reflection can come off as a little glow. So the next one is camouflage. If you're like me and you have a lot of light spots on you, these things look like floodlights if you're in the woods and the sun's hitting right. So, the white man flashlight, it's a thing. So police up your body when you're wearing camouflage and make sure that you're putting field cream on there, i.e. mud. So, the field lotion or cream, whatever you want to call it. So you're camouflaging yourself responsibly. You're putting a net around your neck or whatever to help camouflage, break up the pattern as much as you can. Putting it over your head when you're still to kind of break up the pattern and, stuff like that. So, yeah. So scent, and obviously making sure that you're not like the Belgians running around in purple and yellow. But that's because of the African stuff, but it has to do with tradition. That's why their camouflage is kind of clownish. But the next one is scent. So scent is something that you take care of before. It's something that you take care of before the patrol mostly, and then during the patrol it's what you do. So anyways, scent discipline. So before the patrol, you need to go on bland food for like a day or two. Make sure you're not having things like rice or anything like onion or, using deodorants, soap, and smelly soaps anyways. Stuff like that can really give you away. Not saying that you need to be a pig in a pigsty, because actually the smell of, old flesh that hasn't been washed in a while, it actually does leave a unique scent. And especially if you're in an area where people do still bathe in the river and they still do take care of themselves, you will stick out. You'll start smelling like a corpse. And there's a unique scent to it. We're kind of drawn to, detect it and be very sensitive to it. So, yeah. So when you're on patrol, you need to be very sensitive to the smells. You need to, sniff for certain smells that might be unique to the enemy. Maybe smell for some cooking food, because that actually helps the brain kind of go through some of the olfactory senses and be able to sense things a lot easier. Is smell for body odors, smell for, cooking stuff like garlic, stink and stuff. So, yeah, and sniff for oil or whatever you might be able to smell into the breeze or whatever. Last one is movement discipline. So this is one where you're being very cautious about how you're moving around in the battle space while you're patrolling. So obviously this is moving cover to cover, and you're using cover and concealment as you're moving. You're not going as fast as you can if you're close to the enemy or you suspect that the enemy's in the area, and you're not jerking your head side to side. You're watching your movement, making sure that when you're halting and listening, that you're moving your eyes first, and that you're observing with your eyes, and then slowly turning your head. So using your full peripherals to scan, and your head will turn slowly. You're being very disciplined about your movements, because movement is one of the first things that we pick up with the eye. So, anyways, that's the general idea of it. So, learn how to move quietly with weight on, without weight on, crawling, standing, prone, whatever. On your hands and knees, whatever. So, with all that said, I appreciate you guys watching. Let me know what you think about patrol disciplines and if there's anything else. And you guys, have a good one.